Today we're talking about jobs for graduates, summer fashion, and the rise of soccer in Charlotte. I'm Carlton Hargrove, and this is 282. Welcome, folks, to another episode of 282. Thanks for joining us once again. As always, we've got a great show coming your way. We're going to explore a number of hot local issues. And as usual, we've got assembled a great panel of guests to discuss these issues. But before you meet them, let's say what's up to 282 producer Jarvis Holiday, who, if you have seen The Avengers, he's over in what I'm calling the Holocarrier. That's for the Avengers fans out there.
Man, your geek stock just rose.
I know,
infinitely
man.
with
That's how I
that.
do.
Yeah. What's up, viewers? Special shout out to our viewers on live stream. You guys can follow the show on Twitter at 282TV. Tweet your comments using hashtag 282TV, and we incorporate into the show.
Thank you, Jarvis, from the Holocarrier over there. Folks, if you haven't seen Avengers, go check it out, and you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, let's meet the guests. Let's jump to the conversation. First up, I've got David Pinkley, who is the founder of the Resume Sage and founder, guru, resume superhero.
Sage. I like Sage.
All right. Up next, we've got Erica Hanks, who is the fashion editor for QC Exclusive magazine. And up next, last but not least, we've got Mac Lackey, who is the CEO of Kick, which is the global football experience.
That's right.
All right, cool. And we'll learn more about that as we get into the conversation. All right.
Fantastic.
But thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. We're going to start the conversation off talking about jobs for graduates. And so, we're going to turn this question to you. May is the time when all these graduates get out of school. Thousands of graduates are getting out locally and nationally. And, as we know, the economy is still pretty much in the toilet. Now, the question is, how does this affect the job market for these graduates getting out? My question is, will they have to keep eating ramen noodles, or can they graduate to Velveeta shells and cheese?
Velveeta shells. I like that. Velveeta shells and cheese. Absolutely.
What do you think? What's the job market like for graduates?
Look. I mean, if you're coming out of school right now, you probably committed to go to school before this recession hit.
Right.
I mean, you certainly didn't expect the market to be quite like it is right now.
Yes.
And you got lots of negative media and lots of negative attention about the unemployment rate and everything else going on. So there's a couple of things that you can do if you're a college student. I got two things you can do and two things you probably shouldn't do.
Okay,
to
let's
sort of enhance
definitely
that
hear
job
that.
search
Yeah.
campaign.
Well, give us those tips real quick.
Okay, so one thing you don't want to do is be where everybody else is. So if you're coming out of college and you're pretty much relying on the job boards, the same old job boards, and you're putting your resume online in those same spaces, you're not exactly differentiating yourself.
Okay.
Right? So you've just invited a whole lot of competition.
So you talking stuff like LinkedIn or Monster.com?
Yeah, most people are on Monster and
Okay.
Career Builder, and even in Craigslist gets lots of stuff.
Right.
And, so if you're only doing online web-based campaign, you're probably limiting yourself. It's really good, especially as a college kid, to get out and meet some people, like your, former, a soccer coach
Okay.
and your choir director. There's all kinds of ways you can go, right? So don't limit your search just to the internet.
Okay, don't limit your search to the internet. Okay,
Exactly.
what's the second one?
thing you want to do is don't be unprofessional, right?
Okay.
Now, this is seems maybe easy for some of us who have been around the business world for a while. But when you're coming out of college, you really want to make sure that you're dressed for success. Right? We're talking a little bit about fashion today. And so there's also about dress in addition to your social presence, right? Your social media presence, i.e. your Facebook page. You want to clean that thing up, and some of the things that were out there. Probably good to sort of scrub that up before you really hit the job search market.
Okay.
They call it the 3 Bs. You want to know what the 3 Bs are?
What are the 3 Bs?
Beer, bong, and bikinis. You want to
yeah.
clean
Take that
out.
off. Untag yourself,
That's
right?
right, untag. Yeah. So those are the 2 don'ts.
Okay, 2 does. So what are the 2 do's?
2 twos. Okay, customize the resume, right? So if you're coming out of college, your resume is probably like everybody else. They tell you how to do it in college in the career center.
Right.
It's 1 page and it's pretty simple, straightforward. But don't word your objective statement in terms of what's in it for you. I want to work for a company where I can use my skills and my education for the betterment of my career. That's
Okay.
the standard fare. So what you want to do is customize that opening statement and talk about what you offer. So if I was applying to Mac's company, I would say that I want to use my social media skills to further the objectives or the profitability of another company or something
Okay,
like
okay.
that, right? So you want to sort of put it in terms of what the buyer is going to be seeing. So
That's
that's
cool.
the first do.
Okay.
The second do, and it's easy to forget, don't not follow up. You want to follow up, right? So I always believe that the way you conduct your job search is entirely indicative of the way you're going to be once you start at a company.
Okay.
And a company can read a lot about the way that you behave just before they even hire you. And if you don't follow up, that's a pretty big signal right there, right? So it's easy, especially in this
When you
day
say
and age.
follow up, what do you mean?
Shoot an email or
Okay.
a little tweet, or try to find somebody who knows that person, who's the hiring manager, or somebody in the company, or the HR person. Just sort of get yourself on a campaign wherever so often, every day or every couple of weeks or something. You're actually doing your best to say, hey, I'm still out here, I'm interested, and go back to what it is that you offer the company.
Okay.
One of the things I was going to say, differentiation. Every once in a while, when we're hiring someone, we'll write a handwritten note or send something thoughtful from the conversation. Which, when you've got a stack of resumes this big on your desk, those always rise to the top.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Handwritten note. I always say 45-cent stamp is your best investment in
Okay.
this economy. Really.
That's good to know. Now, one thing I'm wondering is when we're talking about the job market and you being somebody who kind of handles resumes and stuff for people, do you feel like there are enough jobs for the candidates that are coming out? One of the things is I'm assuming that these graduates are actually competing against people who have been out of work and who are a lot older than them.
Right.
So, but are the jobs really there?
You can look at that question in two ways. You can say, look at the unemployment rate. There's definitely not enough jobs. But look at where the economy is going. Sustainable energy, right? Social media. Everybody wants social media marketing these
Right.
days, and Matt can speak to that, right? You talk about all the different sort of futuristic things going on in biotechnology and mapping the genome and all those kinds of cool things. And you don't have to be a scientist to get a job in those things. They still need accountants. They still need general managers and stuff
Right.
like that. So if you can position yourself as somebody who's on the front edge of the next wave of technology, those jobs are out there.
Okay.
Nobody has it. And even if you have 25 years experience, you still don't have it because nobody has it.
Right.
So position yourself where they ain't, as they say.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Hit it where they ain't.
Well, I want to pass this around. You guys obviously have jobs now, but there was a time when you were looking for a job, and I kind of wondered, do you have any tips that you want to offer people that may be a little younger that are looking for a gig right now? What do you think, Erica?
I think definitely the handwritten note is something that I was always, even when I was, still in college looking for a job, I always followed up. You just want to make sure that they still have your name in your mouth, name in their mouth, and a handwritten note. Everyone emails and is easy to shoot off like something electronically, but a handwritten note takes a little bit more time out of your time, and so it makes them know that they're important to you.
Okay. What do you think, Mac?
The other thing I would piggyback on David's comment, I think putting things in the company's terms. What really helps me is if I sit down with a recent graduate and they explain to me very quickly how they can help my company. As much as I want to help them, there are lots of people in their position, but I'm trying to determine who can help me in my organization. So if people can walk in and say, here's what I can do to help you guys, it's really valuable to me.
That's cool to know. Something else, we actually had a discussion about this, David, last week when we were talking about this show in a production meeting. We were kind of debating about the whole suit issue. Like, what do you wear to an interview? Now, I'm from the old school, and I'm like, I don't care where you're going to get a job. It could be digging ditches. I think you should show up with a suit. But some people say, show up to a interview wearing what the industry wears, so the industry uniform. So if the people there are kind of business casual, you come a little more casual. What do you think?
I always think, and I almost defer to the fashion expert here.
Okay.
So I would rather overdress than underdress.
Yes.
You can always go over there and you pull that tie off or something like that, but you can never put the tie on if you don't have it on.
Okay.
So I would say it's always best to be the best dressed person in the room, and then you can find a way to sort of scale down versus the other way. First impressions are everything.
Okay, Erica, do you concur with that?
Yes, I completely concur with that. It's so much better to be overdressed than underdressed. Like you said, you could take something off. But if you're looking to get a job with, a football company that loves soccer, and they're business casual, what he's wearing is probably the best way to go instead of a formal suit, jacket, and tie.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say we're a shorts and jeans culture, but when someone comes in for an interview and they're wearing a suit, I think it's professional. It's not necessary, but it tells me they're serious, they're professional, they're thoughtful. So I would rather be overdressed.
No, well, I agree. I win the argument. But the other thing is talking about networking. People always talk about network is very important. How would a recent grad network with potential employers? How do you really get in the same space with them to be able to kind of just put a name with a face, or get on their radar?
There's tons of networking in this town, really,
Okay.
in the city. The Charlotte Chamber has all kinds of activities. There's after hours, and we're not talking about social drinking networking. We're talking
Right.
about sort of professional set, per se. And I would be extremely impressed if there was a 22-year-old that just showed up out of the blue, and I was
Right.
expecting to meet all kinds of other business owners, and just plugging themselves in, saying, I just got out of a job or out of school. Here's my value proposition. Here's what I'm looking to do, and here's what I think I can add to a company. I'd be pretty impressed with that. Even if I didn't have an opening,
Well,
I'd
well-
probably take that person.
Well, here's the question too: at those networking events, are there just a bunch of people looking for a job, or are there actual business owners and people
Tons
that
of
can
business owners.
Okay, all
Tons
right.
of business owners. And I'm telling you, there's no college students at those events.
Oh yeah, you hear that, college students? If you're watching the live stream, go to these events. Okay, all right. Okay, well that's cool. Well, thank you very much. I think you've really given us a lot of good information, even for people who are not college graduates. There's a lot of out of work people in this room right now. So anyway, we're going to switch topics. Okay, we're going to talk. We actually going to segue from talking about fashion a little bit with the job market, talking about fashion just in summer in general. So Erica, you are the fashion expert here. Okay.
Okay.
Not me, as you can see at home.
Although you look great.
I'm not the fashion expert.
You look nice.
But you guys are very well dressed. What happened? It's like, come on.
She gave us some
We
tips
had
before
we
the
had
show.
to bring it.
You got to send an email, say dress worse than Carlton, okay? But summer's coming up, right?
Summer actually feels like it's already here.
Almost. And the question is, what should people be wearing this summer? What are the looks? What are the trends?
Well, I mean, for men and women, definitely color is in. When you talk about pops of color, you can have it for men. You could have it in a shirt. You could have it in shoes. You could have it in a short. Not all at the same time, definitely. But, just like the bright colors, the tangerines, like what David's got on today. Good job, David, with the pocket
See what I'm
square.
saying? Come on.
Your teals, your aquas, white is a good basic neutral. But there's a couple trends that I wanted to talk about that are going to be really on point for this season.
Okay, and I think we have those images,
Yes.
so you can just walk us through these.
Alrighty. Well, the first trend that I'm going to talk about today is printed bottoms for women. They are, last year women, the colored denim was in. So everyone started, snatching up jeans in a red, jeans in, purple, yellow, instead of the standard white. This year we see a lot of prints at the bottoms, whether it be shorts, skirts, some long skirts are beautiful with prints. I've got on my printed pants today. Unfortunately, nobody can see, so
Oh.
I'm very upset about this table
Sorry
today.
about that. So what's the next one? Let's
The
keep
next
moving.
one is cuffed up pants for men. Now, men in here, I don't want you to feel, like this is something that you can't do.
That looks
If you
like
look at
something
each
I
of those
can't do.
men, there's a different variation to those cuffs. So the
Yes.
first one, he's got them cuffed up probably 3-4 times. If that doesn't work for you, do the one in the middle. Have just like a little cuff, but wear them with your Sperry's, wear them with your flip flops. It definitely brings on more of a casual feel to your look. And it's pretty much what is going to be a hot trend for men this summer.
Okay, let's go through the rest of them. I think we
Okay.
got 2 more.
The next trend for men and women is going to be the blazer. For men, it's going to kind of just finish out your summer accessories. I know that summer gets hot, so maybe you're not going to be wearing a leisurely blazer, in 80-degree weather, but when you're going out to, functions, summer parties, it's a great thing to just cuff up your sleeves, push them up. Not so Miami Vice.
Oh, okay.
Don't get worried, but I mean, even with Mac, even with Mac's blazer, he can just cuff him up, put on a brightly colored shirt underneath, put on some khakis, and he'll be ready to go.
Cuff your pants up and you're out.
Cuff your pants
Wait,
up,
wait, I
but don't
think we
cuff
get-
your pants and your blazer.
Oh,
on
you
the
can't do
same
double cut.
outfit.
Wait, we'll get into that. I just want to get to the last one and then we'll
Okay.
kind of discuss it.
Okay, and then this is a great idea for women. Instead of a neutral blazer, try to find a blazer that has a nice bright color in it. Like this color, it's a beautiful coral. And that way you can put it with your neutrals, whether it be your blacks, your white, khakis. But it's a great way to add pop of color to your outfit and to complete your look.
Okay, so let's delve into some of those looks a little bit. particularly the cuff pants.
Yes.
Now, you know,
David's wearing cuff pants. I just want everyone to know.
he has
Max, sorry.
These guys are a little too fashionable for 282 anyway. But the question is though, how, you know, if you have never worn, like, those things are kind of hot, some of them.
Well, it depends on
and-
how you like it.
I mean, I would feel uncomfortable
Tailor the cuff
if
to
I
you.
could feel the breeze on my ankles.
While you're wearing flip-flops or Sperry's?
You have to wear flip-flops for this?
Well, I mean, are you going to wear your sneakers and cuffed up pants?
I'll wear some shoes.
No.
No? What do you wear with the cuff? Well, so there has to be certain shoes that go with the cuff
Well,
pant
you
look.
want to do like something that is, you know, more casual, like a sandal, a flip-flop.
Okay.
A loafer would be good.
Do you wear socks with this or no?
With cuffed up pants?
I'm asking. It's like,
No.
that's my thought about the
No,
cuffed up pants,
no, no,
period.
no.
So wait, so cuffed up pants,
No
what kind
socks.
of shoes? No socks, and what kind of shoes?
Sandals.
Sandals,
Flip-flops.
flip-flops.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're heading down,
What about like a moccasin or something?
a moccasin would be great,
See that? I know the terms.
but no socks.
No socks. Wow. Get some lotion for those ankles, guys. You don't want to have ashy ankles. So here's another question. So I saw with the colorful top that the woman had on with the skirt.
Yeah, the blazer.
So should you match your shoes with the blazer, or is it
You
that
don't
you
have
just did
to.
that in that photo?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Just in that
We need
photo.
to keep it basic.
Keep it basic. If you want to do a bright color or a bright print on top as a jacket, make everything else neutral. That way you don't look like a walking Technicolor screen.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Since you guys are so fashionable, I want to get your take on some of the looks that you saw from it. Did you see something there that you would wear? Now you already got the cuffs on.
I do have the cuffs
do you
on.
feel like you would cuff up the jacket?
I've cuffed the jacket on occasion.
done it?
I've done it.
How do you do that? I mean, do you have to put the
Now,
shirt
this is
on the
also a
outside of the
basic
jacket?
black, so I mean,
Okay, so you can
going
do
with
whatever. And you
Yeah.
got the pocket squares.
Men could get a navy, you know, a khaki, even a white jacket. Put on a polo shirt underneath, or
But you don't. So the shirt doesn't have to. It's like you could just
yeah,
cuff
no,
it up.
Yeah, just
Should the inside of the jacket look like anything? What if you have like a weird color in there? What
it
if
might
it's like-
even be cooler.
might
with a
even
weird
be
color.
cooler,
That's true.
folks. What about you?
The liner of the jacket always says a lot. I
Yes,
think,
it's like,
right?
bam.
So even if you don't think it's supposed
I
to
mean,
be
don't we
exposed-
remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and his inside of his jacket?
Coordinate.
Come on. They were so cool, he wore them on the outside.
right.
I think if you were going to cuff the jacket, I mean, I wear a lot of times a French cuff, right?
Yes.
So it's a lot easier to sort of roll it over. I
That's
don't know
right.
if that's
Yeah,
a faux pas. or
roll
not.
it over.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Jarvis actually has a tweet regarding fashion. What's
Yeah.
up, Jarvis?
We'll read a tweet from @KWinky. She kind of agrees with what Erica was saying all things cool and breezy with plenty of color. Her suggestion for summer fashion. I also want to get a fashion expert to talk about some of the fashion events that Charlotte has. And over the
Yes.
weekend, there was Fashion Soul in South End.
Yep, I was there.
There's a fashion camp coming up June 18th, 22nd at North Carolina Dance Theater for teens.
Yep.
And then lastly, the Wells Fargo Championship ended yesterday. And Ricky Fowler, everyone knows. Erica, comment on his style. He wore all orange, really bright colors.
Who
Won the
is this?
piece- Ricky Fowler, the guy who won the Wells Fargo Championship
Okay,
yesterday.
okay, wow. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. First of all, there's a fashion camp for teens. Is there one for middle-aged men? Okay, no? Okay, all right. So tell us about some of the events coming up first before we comment on the orange
Okay,
outfit.
there is the International Fashion Style Academy is hosting a camp for teens, and if you go on their website, I don't have the website on me, but
okay.
they do have the information on, and I think it's for girls and guys that are wanting to pursue maybe a job, and they want to style, or they want to just kind of get into this industry. I think it's a great way to
Okay.
to know what you want to do.
Anything else we need to keep note of coming up soon?
Putting me on the spot. There was
Sorry.
Fashion Soul was great. It was this weekend, and it
Okay.
actually showcased local designers, local talent, and a lot of great looks that came down the runway.
Now, what about this guy in the orange outfit that Jarvis was talking about?
Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler.
I did happen to see the photo, and I actually thought it was great. It made him stand out from everybody else,
I bet.
and it was easy for everyone to follow him around.
Oh, we have an image up there on Jarvis' screen. All right,
Oh,
well,
fabulous.
that's interesting. He looked kind of like Evil Knievel or something, doesn't he? All right.
But you'll remember what he wore.
Oh, I definitely will never forget what he wore.
So-
And I like the hat, too. Thank you, Erica,
You're
for that.
welcome.
You know, now we are caught up. I got to get to the cuffing of the pants. I got to start this off. Speaking of cuff pants, let's talk to you, Mac.
Absolutely.
We're gonna move the conversation to soccer. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, right?
That's right.
But not the biggest sport in the United States.
It's getting there quickly.
It's getting there. Well, yeah, and that's the question I want to ask you. Like, how far are what's the soccer world like in America right now, especially in Charlotte? What is it like? Tell us
Well,
about
you're
the
right.
scene.
It's the largest sport in the world by a pretty significant margin. It is the fastest growing youth participation sport in America. America is now second in the world with registered youth players at 24 million. So it is a very large number. What I think is sometimes misleading is when we think about our domestic leagues like Major League Soccer, they haven't matured like they have in Europe and South America. And so what happens is a lot of soccer enthusiasts follow non-U.S. soccer. So I'm a fan of Barcelona, so I spend a lot of time watching Barcelona matches. Here locally, we have a professional team, the Charlotte Eagles. They're actually celebrating, I think it's their 20th season. And so you're starting to see the parents, I think everyone here is a parent, the youth that are coming through the system now are growing up playing soccer. So
Okay.
anecdotally, if you walk out to any park in the city, it used to be baseball fields when I was growing up here. Now they're largely soccer fields.
Wow. Now, one of the big questions is, do you feel like soccer will ever be on the same par popularity-wise in America as football, baseball, basketball, those kind of, trilogy of sports that we have there?
I think it's going to take time, no question. I think the growth is happening quickly. You have a large expatriate population here.
Okay.
It's certainly soccer first and foremost, and then a
Right.
lot of people like myself and my children that have grown up with soccer is the only thing we would really watch on TV sport-wise.
So, tell me about your company, Kick, which is spelled KYCK.
Right,
I mean,
kick.com.
how do you guys interface with soccer, and what are your goals in terms of making it more popular as a sport?
Sure. Well, Kick or Kick.com is a social media company first and foremost, and so we take this vast amount of information around the world for this sport people have so much passion for, and we personalize it. So your interest in terms of teams and players, you get to track just those, and so it filters out a lot of the noise that happens in global soccer.
Okay.
So it makes it a little bit easier to track, and then as you start to engage in Kick, you discover other people that share your interest, and it becomes very social. And so on a Sunday afternoon in Charlotte, you can find hundreds of people that might be watching a Liverpool match that you didn't know existed here. And so it makes it easier for you to discover those unique things.
That's cool. Okay. All right. Now, I want to ask you guys, since you have kids, what are your own experiences with soccer? I mean, do your kids play soccer, or do you watch it? I mean, Erica?
Well, I have a 3-year-old, and we do want to get him enrolled in something this summer. But I live very close to a YMCA, and it is packed with boys and girls that are playing soccer all day, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So there definitely is an involvement where I am, at least in Charlotte,
Yeah.
of people that really love the sport.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids are 9, 7, and 4, and they're pretty adaptable. So if you give them some kind of instruction, they're going to catch on pretty quickly, for the most part. And I give credit a lot to the coaches and to the leagues around here that are pretty well organized and really dedicated to go all of those practices and work around work and Saturdays and tournaments and all that stuff. So I found it to be very solid in terms of the soccer option versus football, for
Okay.
instance.
I'm kind of interested, with so many kids playing soccer, you would think that then you would have more of them playing it in high school or playing it in college and then professionally. I mean, is just kind of looked on as a kid sport at this point? I mean, to some people, you know what I
Sure.
mean?
Well, I think it is a large sport at the high school and collegiate level, but it's like any sport. It's a pyramid, and so as you move up in the levels, there are fewer and fewer spots.
Okay.
And so by the time you get to college, there are very few people that can play college athletics of any kind, soccer certainly being one of the more competitive ones now. And then the professional options domestically are pretty small. So in order to play professionally, you've kind of had to move to the top of that pyramid.
Okay. Now, when you talk about the sport not being mature in the States as far as the players and their ability, I mean, what does it take to get them to the point where they are on the same level as a team in Barcelona or Manchester United or whatever?
I think a lot of it is happening now, and it's just access to the best soccer in the world. And so growing up myself, there was one TV station on Sunday afternoons that would play soccer matches. And so that was all I could get. Now, Kick and other companies around the world offer real-time updates on soccer that are happening in every country all over the world. So discovering amazing soccer and trying to emulate it on the field is happening now. And so you're seeing the youth levels get more and more competitive. Our U.S. national teams are doing better and better. The Charlotte Eagles have won 2 national championships here in Charlotte, so there's great professional talent to go watch locally.
Now, where can we, if people want to watch the Charlotte Eagles, like, when would they go see them? Where did they go see them play?
The Charlotte Eagles, for example, play locally at Charlotte Christian at their in their stadium.
Okay.
And so you can go out to a home match and see professional soccer. You certainly can watch great matches on TV. The FA Cup, which was in England this weekend, had a pretty big draw, so I sat and watched that along with a lot of friends.
All right. Now, something else I was wondering, since you have a large Latino population in Charlotte now, and, a lot of people from those countries play soccer, what kind of outreach is being done locally to bring them into the sport? Because I would think that's a huge, like, I know when they played at the Panther Stadium a year ago, whatever, that was crazy. So what is being done to reach out to them?
I think it's a process. I think the population has really gotten engaged in soccer. I thought that was a great example. I was at that match.
Okay.
And compared to Panthers matches, which I'm a Panthers fan, the Mexican fans were awesome. I mean, chants, screaming, crazy, before the game, after the game.
Right.
So Americans seeing that kind of passion around the sport really helps.
Yeah.
And so the Latino population has done a pretty good job of starting to integrate into local soccer.
Cool. All right. Well, very good. So we got the lightning round coming up. We're going to ask you guys what's the most unreported or underreported story of last week. We'll start with you, David, real quick.
Great segue, Mac. I have 2 kids in the Charlotte Meck school system. We just had a changeover in the superintendent. 2 Saturdays ago, there was a community forum with respect to the Latino population in the Charlotte Meck schools and how the parents need more and more support.
Okay.
I really thought that was a great forum.
That's
It
cool.
should have been covered more.
Okay. Erica,
Well, I can tell you I didn't do my homework.
shame on you.
Yes, but I did see in South Charlotte there is a big police squad, like 10 and 12 police squads, and I never saw it on TV.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, they
It was at
arrested
my- It was
somebody.
at my place.
It was at your place?
Yeah.
Oh.
Busted it.
Selfishly, I have to say it was a soccer match. So
Okay.
Manchester United versus Manchester City, a standard Monday afternoon match. 650 million viewers worldwide. 4 times the Super Bowl on a Monday afternoon.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. And that's it for today's show. We had a really great conversation. Join us again. And if you need more information about the show in the meantime, go to wtvi.org/282. Thanks, folks, for putting that on the teleprompter this week. Thank you, Jarvis and the Holocarrier. Check us out next week, folks. 282. Thank you.